Charlotte had this nephew by the name of Stanley McDonald who wanted to come up here and do sheetrock for us. So he called me and he said, Uncle Jack, would it be possible that maybe we move up there and do sheetrock for you? And I said, well, if you want to, why, sure, we can give you a job. So they moved up here, and they bought a double wide trailer. And in the process, his credit wasn't very good, so he came and asked if I would sign a note with him. Well, I told him we'd give him a job. I guess you got to help him find a place to live, so I said, sure, I'll sign a note with you. He only lasted about, I don't know, 6 months or 9 months or maybe a year. And then he decided that Susie and he wanted to move back to Salt Lake. Well, I said, okay, that's fine. And I thought they would take care of moving, but then I get a call from the bank and they say, Jack, we have a note here that you signed that is 3 months delinquent. And I says, no, I'm current on all my payments. And he said, well, yeah, it's got your name on it. And I says, well, it's something wrong because I make all my payments. And I said, what's it on? How much is it? And it seemed like it was about $4,700 or something like that. And I said, well, tell me more about it. I said, well, do you own a trailer? And I said, no. Oh, wait a minute. And then it dawned on me that I'd co-signed a note with Stanley on his trailer. And he'd moved. I thought he'd paid his bills before he left, but he's 3 months behind on it. So I find the trailer out in Mendon, and I tell the guy that my nephew has moved now, and is it okay if I move a renter in there? And he says, no, I don't want any renters in here. I only want owners. And he says, that's sitting on a double lot, the best lot in my park. And he says, I can get twice as much rent for it by putting 2 trailers on it as I'm getting out of him. And I said, well, how much would that be? And he says, it'd be $80. So I said, well, how about if I pay you $80 then until I can find a place to move it? He says, oh, I want it moved. He says, but you can pay me $80 and catch up the back payments of 3 months that he hasn't paid. So I got back payments on the trailer, got back payments at the bank. So then I go try to find a place to put the trailer. Nobody in town would take a trailer that old. It was in 1972, and they upgraded trailers, house trailers, in 73 or 74 to a new standard. But those prior to that time were too old, and they were not built, the building codes were not met on them. So I went to Preston, I went every lot in Logan. Nobody would take a trailer that was a 72 model. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I'm paying $80 a month out here for something that's sitting vacant. I can't rent it. I had to pick up the payments at the bank. And then it dawned on me that maybe Bear Lake would be a place I could find a lot. So I went over and checked, and there was a subdivision there that was a trailer subdivision that had taken out bankruptcy, and it was Buttercup. Kind of a nice little place. And they said, sure, you can put a trailer in here. This means I have to unstitch it, get somebody to haul it in two pieces all the way over there, restitch it again. And so, and then they said, but we won't sell you one lot. We want you to buy 4 lots. We're trying to get rid of them. There's in bankruptcy, and we're not selling just one here and there. We want people to buy a bunch of them. But they were only $5,000 a lot. So I bought 4 lots. I took the best one, and later I sold the other 3 for the same amount as I'd paid for all 4 of them, so I got my lot free in that regard. So now we've got this trailer to move, and we hired a fellow by the name of Curtis Billings, who was in our ward and who kind of needed a job, and asked Curtis if he thought he could get him over to Bear Lake. He's the nicest guy in the world, but not the brightest at the time. But anyway, I found a guy that would unstitch the trailer, haul them, put them on a truck bed and haul them over. And then Curtis comes in the office and he says, Jack, we got a problem. The highway patrol won't let us take them all the way up the canyon because too windy for that long. And I said, well, where's the piece you're hauling? And he says, it's up the canyon. And he says, I can't get it turned around. He says, stop the traffic.
This is one half of.
This is one half.
Okay.
Oh, he did get it off the road enough that a car could kind of get, not 2 cars. Anyway, we finally got that resolved, and I don't remember how. I said, Curtis, you figure it out. But we did. And then, but how do we get it to Bear Lake? I got half on a truck, half sitting on the lot, I'm paying on it. And then it dawned on me that maybe we could take it up to Idaho and up Immigration Canyon because the road was not as narrow there, and back down. And so that's what we did. So it cost $1,000 to unstitch it. It cost $1,000 for each half that we hauled over there. Took another $1,000 to stitch it back together. Plus what I was paying Curtis. But we finally got it over there, and we got it set on the lot where we thought the lot was, and I found out later that I'm a little bit on a lot that I didn't buy, so I'm a little bit encroaching on the other lot. Anyway, we got it over there, stitched it back together, and it had a round roof on it. And I told my employees, I said, anytime you want to use it, just go use it. It's there for you to use. Well, after about 6 months, in comes Steve Thatcher, who was one of our building superintendents. And he says, Jack, he said, that roof leaks like a sieve over there. He said, and I said, well, can't you patch it? And he says, no. He says, it's just gone. And I thought, well, here we go. So I said, well, while we're doing it, let's put a nice pitch on it. Let's get some trusses and put a nice pitch on it so it looks good. So he orders trusses for it. And then Rulinda thought we ought to put new windows in it while we're at it. So we order windows, thinking it has 4x4 walls. They're all sitting there getting ready to put on. Steve says, Jack, that's only got 2-inch walls. Did you know that? So we got trusses bought, we got windows bought, but we got 2-inch walls that won't support the trusses. So I said, Steve, what do we do? He says, we got to build new walls or else widen, thicken the walls. And I said, knock the whole thing down to the frame and build a house on it and put the truss and the windows in it. And we got a cute little house there. It cost about, I don't know, it cost a lot of money. to build to destroy it.
So did you use the trailer frame at all?
I used the frame. We built it on the frame.
You did?
Yep, built on the frame. We poured some footings underneath the frame so it's stable and something.
Wow.
So that's the story on the Bear Lake. I don't know how much we're in it, probably in $100,000, and I thought I'd be in it maybe $30,000 by the time I got it done.
And that's still there today?
Yeah, it's there, and it's a cute little trailer.
And have you had your family up there much, or have you had some memories up there?
No, everybody's, I'm sorry,
That's right.
That's okay. Everybody's what?
everybody else is using it. He never gets hardly a chance to use it because everybody else is going over and using it.
Our employees use it.
So were your kids kind of raised when you did this or something, or were they young?
No, Grace was building houses for us at that time, so they were after their missions, or maybe one or two was on a mission. Yeah.
Pretty much raised.
Anyway, just a nice experience about signing notes for people.
Yeah, like not to.
Yeah. Okay.